Welcome back to the Out of Bounds podcast. I am Charlie Calieri alongside
Gavin Williams.
And today we'll be recapping a lot of the stuff that's gone on in Week 9. Very busy Week 9 and the few days following it with the trade deadline and everything. And then previewing Week 10, as always, in our Week 10 picks at the end of the episode, which will be posted on our Instagram.
At Out of Bounds Podcast with a dot between every single word.
Yes, it is, Gavin. And first of all, Gavin, what a week of football.
Yeah.
Some exciting games. Maybe not as good of a week as some of us would have liked in this room. But for half of the room, pretty excited. For the other half of the room, we got to rebuild a little bit. Yeah.
I'm going to put a sentence out there. I have a direct quote from my friend Nate Walsh. Shout out, Nate. You're the man. This was when the Jets were cleaning house. He said this got to be the craziest NFL trade deadline in a while. Nothing ever happens for the NFL trade deadline. And I will 100% agree to that. This was the most action we saw on a Tuesday in the NFL ever. Oh, not ever, but you get the point. Usually it's it's not like the NBA trade deadline. That's always exciting. You always get some guys on the move.
Always one or two big trades, yeah.
But you never get that in the NFL. So seeing, for example, the Jets, which we will get into in a little bit, seeing somebody actually do something, it made it actually a Tuesday. You're you're refreshing Adam Schefter's page all the way till 4 p.m. It was a great day yesterday.
Yeah, and like you were saying yesterday as we're recording this, until about, I would say, noon, nothing really happened. And everybody was like, oh, it's going to be one of those
it was just like the Jacoby Myers.
And then all of a sudden, Jacoby Myers, Jalen Phillips was the day before.
And then Wilson was 7 in the morning.
Yeah, so it was nothing really happened. And then all of a sudden, boom, Rashid Shaheed. Boom, Quinnen Williams. And then boom, the first one that happened, Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, that was right as we were walking into our 1 o'clock class.
Right as we were about to go to class at 1 o'clock, Sauce Gardner, the star corner for formerly the New York Football Jets, is now going to be a star in Indiana for the Indianapolis Colts. And who would have thought he was going from one of our correspondents to another correspondent? But the Colts correspondent is pretty happy about this trade. And I just want to know your thoughts about this trade.
Specifically?
Yeah, specifically.
No, I love this for the Colts because what I see right now is a team that's ready to win now. They're not going to sell for the season and figure out the quarterback situation. They like what they see in Daniel Jones. They're going to freaking go for it. And I respect that a lot. Because you know what the Packers didn't do yesterday? They didn't go out what I said to go do. I said get rid of those picks.
Yep. You
see what the Colts did? They got rid of those picks because they're ready to win. And that shows you just the utmost onions they got. And I was really happy. 2 firsts is a little bit of a stretch, but when it's someone to the caliber and young, like Sauce Gardner, I think that's where it's okay. And I really like that trade for Indy. And I like the trade for the Jets, too. You get rid of the contract.
Yep.
You get 2 first-round picks. They also brought another first-round pick and a second-round pick with Quinnen Williams.
And A.D. Mitchell, too.
And A.D. Mitchell, he's got potential. I just think that it was a good day for both teams, and I like to see that the Jets realized their situation. They addressed it. They did what they have to do. And then you have other teams that are either in a great playoff spot or push for a playoff spot, using that to their advantage, which I respect heavily.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you. We got back to our house yesterday, and we walked into our other apartment, and Ian was talking about the trade with some of the guys, and they were all ripping on him for it. And I was standing there, I'm like, hey, what are we doing here? Because in my mind, when you're a good team, and I've been wanting the Bills to do this for years, you're a good team, you see the window that you have. The Colts traded away their 2026 first-round pick this year, and then the 2027 first-round pick. If you're in the spot that you're at right now as the top team in the AFC, you just came off a tough loss to another AFC team, but you're continuing that streak of being just one of the best teams in the conference. You know your window. You think you're going to be good for 2 years, so those picks don't really mean much in the grand scheme of things.
Exactly.
I said, what's the difference between the Bills the last 2 years trading out of the first round than just getting rid of 2 of those picks 2 years ago for a good wide receiver?
Yeah.
We could have been doing that, and that's what's really frustrating to me is because every year we get to the draft, we move back into at the end of the first round, or we move into the second round and we don't get a good enough player as we should if we were to just package those picks and get a guy like maybe Sauce Gardner or it might have been a little bit more of a price, but a guy like Garrett Wilson was potentially out there. A guy like Jalen Waddle was potentially out there. Obviously, both in division that would have cost a little bit more for the Bills, but
Definitely.
still.
But when you're in win-now mode, it just
Right.
it doesn't matter as much. And obviously, these other teams are thinking about their future, so
Mhm.
it's going to be beneficial to them. But if you get the return and like you said, like a true number one receiver on your team, and that's what you need in the moment, then that's a win for both teams.
It's the same people that are ripping on the Colts for giving up those 2 picks that their team gives up 3 first-round picks for a mid-NBA player.
Yeah.
So it's just
We saw 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges.
it's the teeter-totter of the. It's obviously different value picks, and that's another conversation we were having yesterday too, which is very interesting to think about how each pick in all the sports are valued too. When they get traded, like it's totally different from football to basketball, which is weird because you would think basketball picks would be, quote, more valuable because there's less roster spots and less draft picks and less rounds. But it's really the opposite. You can kind of just throw your picks wherever and make sure that you get money and people in free agency. NFL, you got to fill out your roster spots. So, draft's a big part of that. But I like what the Jets did, like you said.
I do too, yeah.
They're going to get 7 quote-unquote elite talents over the next 2 seasons in those drafts. So that's big for them, as well as getting a former first-round pick, Mezzie Smith from Michigan, who has not been great, but, former first-round pick, you never know what can happen. And then A.D. Mitchell, who was a top 2-round draft pick, I think, with the Colts. Didn't really pan out there in a crowded wide receiver room.
It's a
but
good wide receiver room.
Hopefully now with the Jets, he can
There's a
kind of
roster
get an
spot
opportunity. Yeah, so I think I like what the Jets did there. I think it's a good move for the Colts because they got their corner. I mean, their corners for the future now, Charvarius Ward and Sauce Gardner.
That's such a great
pretty locked
duo
down for the next 2-3 years.
And
additionally, after this year, and then
they have a great secondary in general. I mean, we can't forget about their safeties either. The whole way the defense is playing right now, and you just plug in a superstar, an all-pro corner.
Just makes
it just makes so much sense for that team.
And then Quinn Williams teaming up with Kenny Clark there in Dallas on that D line. Those D tackles are going to be
hungry,
unreal to play against. That's going to be something really, really cool to see.
Their secondary is just so awful, where they're just going to have to rely on getting to the quarterback every single play. So I think that's what they
very true.
And I've said this for a couple weeks now, maybe not on the podcast, but I've said it for a couple weeks now. This is the one and only year Matt Eberflus will be that defense coordinator because he's hot garbage. I mean, I don't know how he got a job this year as a coordinator, but I think he's gonna get he's gonna get the boot this year. All of a sudden, next year they might be a decent defense. I mean, I'm gonna mention one of your former guys, Calieri. He's awful.
I know.
Their secondary is just so bad. And then
I've been saying that for. I think all Bills fans have been saying that since he got drafted. Basically,
so then
he's the worst player in the league.
And they have him with like Diggs, who's the most overpaid player and probably in the NFL right now. I mean, if they can just figure out those spots on defense to play complementary, just defense.
Well, let me add on to that right now because I was going to mention how Logan Wilson also got moved from the Bengals to the Cowboys. So they're definitely they know the needs that they have. Yeah, they're definitely trying.
Something we haven't seen.
I think those are some good young players that they can keep for the future, obviously, and that can just build up that defense. Like you said, obviously the coaching is a big part of that too, and it's been a struggle for them for the last few years. But finally now they have some core pieces that they can really build around. The Cowboys always seem to have a really good middle linebacker. Back to Lee, back to Van Der Esch. Those guys.
Oh, man, Sean Lee, I hated that guy.
Both derailed by injuries, but hopefully Logan Wilson can be that new guy that steps in. Hopefully not derailed by injuries as well, but, stepping in, playing healthy and playing well for the Cowboys.
Absolutely.
And then additionally to some of those trades, some wide receivers getting moved. In some really teams that needed – I don't want to say needed wide receivers because they didn't need wide receivers, but definitely the help and the push for the playoffs is getting real right now.
And you can see the intention of these teams, like you just said, playoff push. There is a serious intention of not just going to the playoffs, but succeeding in the playoffs.
In a way that they want to play with, for example, the Seattle Seahawks making a great move, one of the, I think, the best move fit-wise of the trade deadline, going out and getting Rashid Shaheed from the Saints, who is a great deep ball threat, which just adds to their deep ball threats that they have too. Yeah. They're really looking to air it out. They know that Sam Darnold can sling it down the field. He's one of the best deep ball passers. One of the best deep ball passers in the league, if not the best. I think he's the most accurate too, and he probably connects on the most deep balls too.
It shows you the faith they have in Darnold.
Right.
And like, because before the season, we didn't know if it was a 1-year stint with the Vikings, if that's how it went. No, he's proven us wrong. And
he's back
just
to
going out. Yeah. And going out and getting someone like Shaheed to help out on that offense that's already really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for that Seahawks team because now they went from a potential just playoff, like,
they've really solidified
appearance
themselves as a
contender now. Yeah,
real Super Bowl contender
instead of like an appearance. Just it's a contender now, and especially in a crazy NFC West. They're going to win that division. They want to be a top 4 seed. They want authority this year, and I respect the hell out of the Seahawks for making that move yesterday.
Yeah, they do it in all 3 phases too. I mean, their special teams have been pretty decent this year. Obviously, Jason Myers being there, banged up a little bit too,
though.
but still banging them through. And then their defense.
They play complementary football. That's what you're telling me right now is all 3 phases working together.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's complementary football.
You gotta have those pieces now. Having that deep threat ability, along with maybe that helps out JSN where he doesn't need to run all those deep routes anymore, and he can stay on the field for a few more plays. With hey, maybe just run a drag on this play, and then he can stay out here for second down.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's little things like that I think really help a team, and I think going out and getting a Rashid Shaheed in a spot where the Saints wanted to move on from him, they didn't really get too much in return.
They
obviously.
really didn't.
So I think it's a better move for the Seahawks than for the Saints, but for the Saints still. Shipping off a guy, it doesn't really hurt to get draft picks. So that's that side to that. And then Jacoby Myers from the Raiders going to Jacksonville now, who has had some wide receiver struggles this year. Obviously, Brian Thomas Jr. has not had the season that they thought he would.
He's a little banged up, and you have Travis Hunter's a little banged up.
And Travis Hunter now going on IR for the next at least 4 weeks. Don't know. He avoided serious injury, which is great to hear.
Yeah.
But his season's just been derailed by high expectations that haven't been met, and then now injuries. So just kind of a weird rookie year for him. Maybe that'll just progress into maybe a better second year for him, hopefully.
Yeah.
But now they get another guy in that pass catching game who, when those guys come back, they'll be a fully well-rounded team with De'Ami Brown, with Parker Washington, with all those guys in that offense. But adding in a guy like Jacoby Myers, who is a reliable short yardage pass catcher who was always going to be open, it seems like.
He's proven too.
At least he was for the Raiders. Giving Trevor Lawrence that new target's going to be really good for that push for the AFC South now.
They're showing that they don't want to just be in the mix. They want to be in it. So even if it is taking, like we all know the Colts are having such a great year, and like maybe if they accept that they will be the 1 seed, it's like, hey, they still want to push to be in the playoffs in general, and maybe contend in that second game. But I like this move from Jacksonville to really put some more weight on Lawrence's shoulders. They're giving him the pieces. They're like, all right, let's see what you can do. And like, I like Liam Cohen.
Yep.
I like the system he's running out there. Whole different ball team this year than in years past. Great move from Jacksonville there.
So before we get into talking about some of the really bad injuries that have happened this week, let's talk about Jalen Phillips, who had a bad injury in the past, but now he's healthy.
Yeah.
And now he's going from Miami to Philly, just to add to that defensive line that they have there. Just wanted to point that out because I thought that was a pretty big trade, and a pretty big trade that might be seen as a bigger trade when we get into January and February. So
the thing that Philadelphia is not afraid to do, it's trade, and we've seen this throughout the years. Past 4 years, they just know how to move pieces. Just plug them in, plug them out, plug them in, and they just know how to do it really well.
It's frustrating because it's not frustrating for the fact that like you're like, oh, they're maybe where some people can be like, oh, the Dodgers, it's frustrating because they have more money than people. It's just that the Eagles know how to utilize their assets better.
Yeah, they do.
And they're more willing to give up stuff because they know that in return, that can help them win games. I mean, people only think about you lose something in the trade, you got to get something back in the trade. But what about that something getting back in the trade is more wins?
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be worth something, right?
So we saw it last year that they got the whole ring. So
yeah, I feel like a team like the Colts is a great example of this. You got two, at least this year, you're hoping that your team your pick is going to be 28 through 32, 29 through 32, make the conference championship. Or in the next year, hopefully you continue that and you're still the 28-9 through 32nd pick, at least. Hopefully the 32nd pick for if you're trading that. But Yeah, along those lines, you got to be able to give up your assets, and most people just think about the player that you're getting back, not what that player can really do for the team.
I agree 100%.
I guess in the future.
It's a great way. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. That was perfectly said.
Let's get on to some injuries now, because there was a lot that happened this week. Unfortunately, really unfortunate injuries. Like, the last few weeks have been really tough to watch, honestly, with some of the gruesome.
It's crazy how
gruesomeness too of the injuries is like disgusting. First of all, Jaden Daniels went down with a super horrific arm injury. It was his left arm, right? Or was his throwing arm?
I think it was his left arm.
It was his elbow. Fully was out.
Left arm, yeah.
Bent back, just was
completely
disgusting.
dislocated. Yeah,
and he's probably going to be done for.
I mean,
a while.
I was saying this at this point. We will get into, like, Washington is one of the most hurt teams right now. They got to sell in the year, get a good draft pick. I don't like tanking, but at this point, that team's not going anywhere. 3-6 in a very competitive NFC East.
NFC. Competitive NFC.
Yeah, NFC,
we know with the Bears
general.
and the Panthers moving
So,
up there. So
I think they just got to take the L in the season. Dan Quinn, you still got a job. Don't worry. It was a loss for the season. Just go get a good
and
draft
who else
pick.
on the Commanders got hurt?
Luke
They wanted to point
McCaffrey.
out? Yeah, Luke McCaffrey. Yeah, so that was
shoulder.
underrated move for them. A guy that stepped up so many times for that offense this season, who looks to be a part of their future now after this season.
And their special teams too.
Yeah, so big losses for the Commanders there. A big loss for your team this year, and this is like just once again devastating. This guy was having such a good year. He was ranked the 4th best fantasy tight end. Tucker Kraft going down with an ACL injury. Who, I don't know. I mean, that's a killer for that team. I'm not gonna lie. It's just tough, man.
Your number one option goes down.
Mm-hmm. Your most consistent offensive pass catcher
and blocker,
right?
I think that a lot of people are thinking about Tucker Kraft. They're not thinking about his blocking ability and how much he brings to that team. And I do have a lot of faith in Luke Musgrave and what he's able to do in that pass ability, but he's not going to bring what he can bring what Tucker Kraft did, and that's playing two sides of the tight end position.
That's the good side of it, I think, is that, obviously this really hurts your pass catching game, and Luke Musgrave does a few things a little bit differently, but you still got a reliable guy back there.
I do love Musgrave.
At least that you can lean on, and who's been reliable for you in the past too.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's always a positive that you can take out of it.
Yeah, it's just that one really hurt. Man, I don't remember seeing an injury being so sad about since Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone.
Yeah, it's you guys are still in a good spot. I mean, obviously losing that game is tough, but you're still in a good spot playoff wise to be in the playoffs and compete. Jacobs is still rolling right now.
Yeah.
Christian Watson's back now, so maybe that'll
tough
propel him a little bit forward now. Maybe
with Matthew Golden going down too, so hopefully he'll be back this week. We gotta get Jaden Reed back eventually. I mean, I think I'm not worried about the wide receivers. I'm just worried about how much Tucker Kraft truly brought to that team. He's a number one option for a reason. He's a top 5 tight end in the NFL. That's not even debatable in my opinion. I think I'll take that to the grave of me. It just sucks, and I hope that he can come out on the other side. I hope he's just there by week 1 next year. I know it's mid-season. It's typically and especially football. It's a 10-month injury. It's not as easy.
It's got a little bit shorter though eventually, like for a few guys. But
I just want to see him week 1 next year. That crowd, the home opener when he gets back will just be nuts.
Yeah. So always rough. But moving on from your team to my team, we also had an injury happen this week. Michael Howick went out with the apparent Achilles injury. It said, I don't know what the
torn
extent.
Achilles.
Yeah, so torn Achilles.
Yep.
That's always just tough, man. He's going to be out for a full year.
Yeah, that's a gruesome one.
And we signed him in the offseason. Got hit with PED suspension right away. So he wasn't really with the team. He was with the team, but he wasn't playing with the team for the first 6 games. So he only really played the last 2 or 3. But in those 2 or 3, it really looked like that our D-line, with him being in rotation, was really something. And now, obviously, with Ed Oliver going down until at least the playoffs, that's going to be just a really big hit to the D-line. Obviously, some guys are going to have to step up. Deion Walker's been really good. TJ Sanders, when he gets fully healthy, is going to be a little bit better. But, it's really a time where you got to look at the guys that you have in that room and say, hey, you got to make this work. And if we don't make it, I think our pass rushing is going to be fine. I think it's going to be fine. But it's just not going to be as strong as what we would like it to be. Obviously, Bosa, Rousseau, Epineza are all good alternatives for Michael Howick, and he was the fourth guy maybe in that group. But still, I mean, losing a rotational guy that plays that well consistently when he gets in, it hurts, like you said. It just hurts. Let's get off our teams now on a little bit more of a, not that we're happy talking about these injuries, but a little bit less sad talking about them. C.J. Stroud went down in that game with a very scary concussion. It looked like his hands went up, did the whole thing. And then my guy Davis Mills did come in the game and tried to lead them to.
Didn't get it done though.
He tried to lead them to a comeback in Davis Mills fashion. Led them to 5 field goal drives. That's what he does.
They had 15 points. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, Stroud's down. Don't really know how long he's going to be out for. Could be
2 to 4 weeks probably.
Yeah.
That was a pretty
It's
serious
going to be a
concussion.
significant amount of time, and it could be significant enough for them to let the Jags propel forward, for the Colts maybe to fall down,
I
or
think
for the
this is-
Texans not to make up.
I think
that
this is where
ground.
the fall off starts for the Texans.
Yeah, I
mean,
agree.
it says he's questionable for this week. I definitely don't think he's playing this week.
The way that looked, it looked really bad.
I think that this is the official fall off for this year. I'm not saying for the future, but for this year for that team.
It's like this. Yeah, it's that moment that you're like, this is something's gonna have to really happen for us to really make a push here. And then out west with the Chargers, a lot of AFC tough injuries here, season-ending injuries. Joe Alt, the left tackle for the highly drafted Joe Alt, left tackle for the LA Chargers, now going down. Huge, just devastating injury for that team too, with how well they were playing on offense, how well they were clicking, how well Herbert was playing, or is playing, I guess, with Alt being in there now. Without his starting left tackle, that's always a tough relationship there, to have that guy out, especially for the rest of the season and potentially start next season as well. Hopefully him, though, he'll be back. But either way, that's a tough loss there, and a season-ending injury for Joe Alt. So let's get off of the injuries now on a more positive note. And let's talk about some bad defense. Let's talk about some really bad defense. And we talked about it a little bit last week, okay? But if you were watching on Sunday, you saw one of the best late game comebacks in the NFL. And then it was quickly taken away by some terrible defense. And if you know what I'm talking about the Bears and the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Cincinnati Bengals they were down by, I think, 15 with 3 minutes to go.
Something
Less
like
than that, maybe under the 2-minute warning. Came back all the way back after what seemed to be a pick from Tremaine Edmonds, which I think got called back, and he returned it all the way down to the 5-yard line at the other side, or for a touchdown at the other side, but I think it got called back. And then the Bengals just blew it, man. I can't believe it. We talked about it last week, but
I don't know if you heard after the game, but Jamar Chase ain't get one effing stop.
Yep.
You have other guys just slandering that defense. It makes sense. I would be so frustrated if you put up 40 points a game and you lose. Like, that is so frustrating.
And they consistently put up 40 points a game.
Joe Flacco's doing great in that offense.
I know.
Great. And it's getting diminished by this defense.
It's crazy how, we see it with two teams, with the Cowboys and with the Bengals, how you overlook the defensive side of the ball and you sign all these offensive guys to all these big contracts. Maybe it's not worth it, man.
Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not worth it. You have two guys on the Bengals offense, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, who deserve their salaries. I'm not saying they don't, but do they deserve them on the same team? And
Maybe
is
not.
that really the way to build a team? Is that really the way to build a team?
As of right now, it's panning out to be no.
No, it's not. And that helps them. That doesn't help them with maybe trading those players either, because people are like, I don't want that big contract.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation that the Bengals are in right now. It's another, once again, lost season for Cincinnati.
It really is.
This year, or last year and this year, both with injuries. It's not really tough for me to see, because it's an AFC contender team. But at the same time, you can really see just how, I guess, heartbreaking it is for those fans to experience that terrible defense just every week that blows the games.
Especially it broke my heart because it was the Bears who did it, so that sucks even more.
And the Bears are now really competitive. I think they're one of the hottest teams in the NFL.
Ben Johnson's doing great with that offense, and I really hate to say that, but he is.
And they ran a Philly special in that game too, so
that just
which works to
pissed
perfection.
me off even more.
And it was one of those plays where the Bengals were set up well to defend it, and they just decided not to.
Yeah,
and it's really just apparent if you watch the game, like you're like, oh, they have some good defense. They have some good defensive players, right? But they just arguably traded away their best one in Logan Wilson. And how is that even gonna like? How do you go from trading your best player now,
the season.
who, you let up 47 points in the game, and now what? You're gonna let up 57 next? Like, I don't know. It's just it's incredible. Let's move on now to the Colts at Steelers, which was one of the highlight games of the week and one of the biggest games of the week in the AFC.
Huge game.
And brought the standings a little bit together.
I think that something that we were talking about last week was when we were talking after the Packers-Steelers game. We were wondering about the Steelers and, how they will respond. And we both had the Colts going into Pittsburgh and winning, and seeing that AFC North window get closing up a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I thought we saw a lot out of the Steelers this week. Their defense looked the best it's looked all year. And I'm very happy with how the Steelers played this game. Obviously, yes, there are down weeks in the NFL, and this might have been just a down week for the Colts. It might have. But I was really proud of A-Rod, throwing for a touchdown, 200 yards, seeing the way that offense flew around Jaylen Warren. And, I think that this might be the only week that we see both Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor play this bad. And good win from the Steelers. I'm not taking that away. That is a great quad one win right there. And I'm gonna bring college talking into
quad one. Yeah, that's definitely a quad one.
That's a quad one win. So I'm hyped for the Steelers to see that maybe they aren't taking that step back that we thought they were going to. Maybe that was just the win to help propel them to really take the North. So obviously we'll see how it plays out, but great win from the Steelers there.
Yeah, for sure. And even with the Colts not playing their best ball, they still played a close game. So that just really goes to show you that this team is legit, most likely, and will continue to play at that high level. So let's move on to your game now, your team's game now, and a tough loss.
Yeah,
on a team that's hot though, very hot.
Yeah,
hot-ish.
Packers didn't wake up with hot piss. Lost the game. Lost their best tight end. Lost the number one option. No excuses at all. Offense had a disastrous game. If you hold a team to 16 points, you expect to win a game. And offense didn't get it done. On to the Eagles now. That's all I gotta say. I'm just that mad I can't even talk about it.
Fair enough. Frustrating game. The offense just didn't do their job.
Not at all.
I kept watching it, and it's one of those games that you're like, they're gonna score at some point, right? Like it's just one, it's just one of those, and just never happened. Let's move on down to more of a positive note. Buffalo Bills won a game, and it was a big game in Orchard Park
against who was the hottest team in the NFL.
Against the hottest team in the NFL at the time, and now it's not.
Cooling down.
Buffalo Bills won 28-21 against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's always good to say. It's happened in the regular season the last how many years now? 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I think Allen's 6-1 against the Chiefs in the regular season or something like that.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. And then 0 for 4 in the playoffs. Yeah, right. It was a good game. It was a good game, start to finish. Yeah. Honestly, I thought that from the start we looked like the better team. I thought that maybe at points we didn't look like the better team, but I would say for 75 to 80% of this game, we were the better team. And I think that comes down to not necessarily our offensive firepower that we had, but our defensive guys that stepped up for us, including Max Harrison in his first game at Highmark Stadium. Balled out. He was hyped. He was tweeting before the game.
He did play really good.
Hyped to play after the game. Obviously, after that pick, he was hyped about that too. And then
it's good to see in your first round pick.
And then all these, basically what I'm going to say is the D-line played how they play. Joey Bosa has been unreal this season. The only play that he played
that was really weird.
That he was bad. The only play that he struggled on that game was on the 4th down conversion late in the game, which is the worst time probably to have a bad play. But nonetheless, he still played very well. But I want to talk about the secondary here. And our linebackers, because when Terrell Bernard and Matt Milano are both healthy and playing well, they're, I will say, a top 5 linebacker duo in the league, if not higher than that. When they're not playing well, they're one of the worst in the league, I bet. Because they're so aggressive, I think that's part of it. But I want to talk about the secondary here. Max Harrison, Jordan Hancock, Cole Bishop, Christian Benford.
Cole Bishop had
Johnson.
a legacy game in this
And especially Jordan Hancock and Cole Bishop, because Hancock made one or two really good pivotal plays in the game, but Cole Bishop was all over the field. It was by far his best game in the NFL.
Yeah.
And hopefully this is a game where last year I said this with Keon after that Seahawks game, right? I said, and also in week 9, this is a game where that's going to propel him into being the star that we drafted him to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's the game for Cole Bishop. Obviously with Keon, he got hurt the next game after that, and kind of started to where he is now. But I think with Cole Bishop, if he stays healthy, that game is really going to propel him into being our starting safety, anchor that defense in the backside for the rest of the season. And I think you need, and with Max Harrison coming back too, I think that helps obviously with the cushion of Cole Bishop.
Off of him. Yeah.
Takes more off of him, and really locks down that side of the field. Max Harrison is so fast, and you don't even realize it until you watch him. He was locking down Xavier Worthy the whole game. The whole game,
man.
Pushing him to the sideline, keeping him out of the play. It's exactly what you have to do against the Chiefs. Kelsey wasn't really a factor in this game much.
Not really.
Milano did a really good job of locking him up. He's the Kelsey stopper.
Yeah.
I'll call him that. He's kind of like Zubac to Jokic, the Kelsey stopper. I feel like that's a pretty good.
Yeah, that's a fair
comparison
comparison right there. I like that.
But overall, obviously, Cook, another 100-yard rushing game. Allen, probably with his best passing game of the season,
very efficient,
too.
I will say that.
23 for 26, 273 yards, and a touchdown to Dalton Kincaid, who had 101 receiving yards. So
Quite great.
it's just the guys stepping up, that the guys that I've been preaching to step up finally stepped up.
He had his
this
longest
game.
reception of his career in that game.
Yeah, huge play for a touchdown. And then our receivers. I mean, we posted it the other day on Instagram, but everybody eats. We're one of the highest, spread around percentages in the league, which is fine. But I'm fine with it this year. Then next year, let's go get a guy.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
yeah.
But other than that, all three faces of the team played well. I think mostly, besides Prater missing that kick at the end, but still, it was in a spot where you felt like we were still in control of the game, so that was good. But clean that up a little bit.
That could have came back and bit you bad.
Really could have came back to bite us, right?
Yeah.
But clean that up a little bit. Let's move on now to Miami next week in a divisional game, and keep rolling from there.
I will just point one more thing out because you covered the game pretty well. You were 100% right. You really were. You said there's a different energy when the Chiefs come to town, because I was talking about how that whiteout game didn't feel like enough energy. Yeah, that crowd did not stop this week.
It's a different type of hatred.
Different, and
it
you
really
were completely right, because you said tired hatred and like a new fresh hatred. Like, you were completely right how you said that. Fans, they were unreal this week. Unreal.
Every play they were loud. I mean, this is what it needs to be every week. We can't take weeks off. I will be in attendance at the next home game, so that's very exciting. So I will be doing my part to contribute to that against Baker and the Bucks, which is going to be a big
Great game.
Coming up
Luka's back this week.
Yeah, in week 11, I think.
Yep. Week 10.
If I'm doing my math right.
This is week 10.
Week 10 this week, but week 11 will be the Bucks game.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, pretty excited for that, and it should be a good atmosphere in Orchard Park for that game.
Absolutely.
So moving on now to one of the big segments of the week here. If you know what it is, hopefully you're getting pretty excited right now. It's the FMVP and the MVP presented by Gavin Williams.
Yeah, thank you. This guy I had in my MVP slot, and I moved him back. I shipped him down to the AHL because you want to know why?
FMVP is the AHL?
Well, no, I mean, I that's a pretty mean.
Yeah.
Anyways, and there's a reason why I shipped him down. He was my MVP of the week. But if you're the MVP, your team's got to win the game. And this guy's team did not win the game. So, that being said, this guy had 127 yards on 12 completions and 3 touchdowns, total for 43.3 points.
And let me just say, I disagree with this fantasy MVP because he cost me the game that I was playing. I lost by a point to our Colts correspondent, Ian Kennedy, because of this guy. And I'm going to say his name so you don't have to say it.
Okay.
Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
I would have some other choice words if this was not being posted on YouTube. But I was keeping track. We went to go watch. Shout out on Sunday. It was my dad's birthday.
Shout out.
Watching the Bills game. What a birthday gift. Bills win.
Nice, yeah.
We were out watching the game, and they had the overtime of the Jags-Raiders game. And all I'm saying to myself is, I'm watching this, and I still have the Seahawks defense ready to go on Sunday night. So I'm like, I have a chance here, even if Bowers gets some yards in this overtime. He already had a touchdown late in the game, scored, and then I'm like, he just needs to not score in OT, and I'm good. What does he do? He scores, and then they end up losing the game.
They end up losing,
which is the most frustrating part. So
that's why he couldn't be the MVP.
Thank you, Brock Bowers. You are the fantasy MVP.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you gotta win.
Ridiculous.
You gotta be the game. You have to win the game to truly be the MVP, in my opinion. So you're gonna have to put you down, even though probably one of your best legacy games in your career. We're gonna put you down in the FMVP. Still a great honor to have. I mean, this is a very prestigious group to be a part of. I mean, if you're chosen this by Gavin Williams, this is serious. So, but hey, make sure your team comes up on top next time. Be a different story. But we'll move on to the MVP now. And you know, this guy just eats. This guy absolutely eats. 106 yards on the ground with a touchdown, another touchdown, 67 receptions on 67 yards on 5 receptions. That would have been crazy. Christian McCaffrey. I mean, this guy just knows how to get it done. And I'm going to put him specifically in the MVP. I know the Giants aren't a great team. I know they're not. But you know what?
It's an NFL game, though.
It's an NFL game against a really good front five. Really good front five. So when you can put up stats like that and take some pressure off Mac Jones to go out there and get another win for a team that is so weirdly good this year, got to give it to Christian McCaffrey here. Congratulations, C-Mac. You are officially the Week 9 MVP.
All right, so I love that because he definitely deserved it. And I think it's a long overdue.
I think it is long overdue, yeah.
But let's move on now to our last segment before the Week 10 picks.
Yep.
Blind resume. It's back. It's a little bit different this time, though.
Okay.
I'm just going to be telling you a certain stat, and you're going to tell me it's going to be a quarterback stat.
Okay.
So out of the usual starters that have played this season, so the guys that have played, I would say,
more than
every
half?
game but one for their team. So,
Okay.
you can miss one game, but then you play the rest.
Okay.
The consistent starting quarterbacks, out of those guys, who is the most touchdown passes and who is the least touchdown passes?
Wow.
And then I'll ask you who has the most interceptions and who is the least amount of interceptions out of those guys.
Most touchdown passes. That's an interesting one. Man. Most touchdown passes. I feel like it's kind of at the top. It's kind of close.
And I'll give you 2 guesses, and then then I'll say it.
Trying to think of like a good answer here. Trying to think of like a guy who's got his team. You know what? I'm gonna put up for my first guess for most touchdown passes. I'm going to go Sam Darnold.
It's not Sam Darnold, but I think he's towards the top of that list for sure. For sure.
Now I have a couple guys in my head. I have guys like Matt Stafford up in there because he had 4 more this week, which is crazy. And then, obviously you got guys like Josh, but he has a lot of rushing, so I'm gonna take him out of this conversation. I'm gonna take Pat out of this conversation. I'm not feeling him as much this year. Not DJ. Obviously not Hurts. It might be Goff. I'm gonna go back to the roots. I'm gonna go Matt Stafford. He has the most touchdown passes in the NFL.
It is Matt Stafford with 21, which is 3 more than the next highest guy.
Yeah.
Which I didn't write down the next highest guy, but he has 21, which is pretty impressive for
balling, man.
The Puka being out for a little bit and just for people writing him off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. And then the least. Who's got the least?
The least. This one's interesting too. I'm gonna go Geno Smith.
It's not Geno Smith.
Really?
It's not Geno Smith.
Interesting. Throwing?
Yeah, passing touchdowns, yeah.
I might have to throw Fields in there for my second guess.
It's not Justin Fields. It is Cam Ward with 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
5.
That's really bad.
It's really bad. And obviously, he's gotten in the end zone rushing a few times, but that just offense does not score.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Really bad. Really, I'm not saying he's bad. It's just a really bad look for him.
Yeah.
Really bad look.
Sure is.
Let's go to a spot where you don't want to be.
No, don't want to be. Yeah.
Most interceptions, in a spot where you do want to be. Least interceptions.
I'm gonna say the most interceptions is Tua.
It's actually a tie.
Okay, so
Tua
Tua
is one of the guys with 11.
Yeah, he's got a ton.
With 11.
Who else has 11? That's crazy. Man,
It's also a tie for the least.
okay, so I'm also going to throw, like, Gino in there for...
It is Gino. Yeah.
He's
both
so
have
writing
11.
back this year.
Yeah, he is very... They're both writing back, and
Yeah.
Tua didn't even write anything on the page yet.
Exactly.
So I don't know how that's possible. But who's got the least?
Wow.
With 2.
You know, I'm going to throw Matt Stafford back in this conversation.
Matt Stafford is one of the guys. And it just goes to show you.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you
How efficient he's playing.
how efficient he's being and what uncomfortable talks we should be having this season about Matt Stafford.
I agree. 100%. Yeah, man, he's balling. I'm trying to think of some guys who I know.
All I'm just gonna say is don't overthink this one. I really think this is a guy that you can get this right away.
You know, I haven't seen this guy turn the ball over too much this year. I'm going to throw Daniel Jones in this conversation.
It's not Daniel Jones, but that's an amazing guess, honestly.
I mean, because I have not really seen him turn the ball over too much. Well, against the Steelers he did, but so that was my first one.
That game probably put him over.
It probably did.
Out of this group with these guys.
Trying to think of some notable guys. I mean, I know after this week, Jordan Love's not in that conversation anymore. And I think Josh is throwing more than 2, so I'm going to keep him out of here. Oh, my God. I'm not going to say this guy's name, but I'll save it. And if it is this guy's name, then I'll tell you after. But I still don't think it's him. I think he has more than 2. But, you know what? I'm gonna throw in Jared Goff right here. I'm gonna toss him in there.
Another great guess, but it's another guy kind of like Jared Goff who throws a lot of yards, but is very efficient. It's Baker Mayfield.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
Baker Mayfield still with two interceptions on the season.
Let's go, Bake.
Once again, just not turning the ball over, being a smart quarterback, which is the one thing that everybody thought he was the worst at, was being a smart quarterback.
I love that he's in that conversation because it also proves where we obviously stand with him. This week is a big week for if we bring him back into that conversation once again.
And let's get into that right now. Let's get into our Week 10 picks.
Absolutely.
Which, if you have been keeping up with our picks, you got to know that this is a big week.
It's a huge week.
It's a big week because there's some good games.
And we are officially halfway through the season.
Yeah. Last week, we both went 9-5. So, not our best weeks. Could have been a lot better. But a few upsets here and there. Never going to be too upset about some upsets. Always love some upsets, but let's get into it now. The records are 89-47 for me, and 92-44 for Gavin. So hopefully
very close.
This week maybe I can make it up with some swing games. I think we have 3 swing games this week, which seems to be our normal amount. Seems to be the standard
when you get
amount.
towards the later in the year, I think the swing games go down.
Maybe.
Unless it's matchup. I mean, it's based off matchups.
It's based off matchups. But let's get into the Thursday night matchup, which is a divisional matchup. Raiders at Broncos in Denver. Who do you got in this one?
Give me the Broncos.
Same. Can't really pick the Raiders here. Falcons at Colts in Indy.
We talked about this. You don't know which version of the Falcons you're going to get. And like we talked about before the show, we love the Colts at home. Give me the Colts.
I think the Colts at home are the best team in the NFL specifically, so I will take the Colts.
If they can find a way to control their destiny to be a number 1 seed, that would be ginormous for that team.
I agree.
I mean, if they can really control the playoffs and they control it in Lucas Oil, man, that could be really scary. Really scary for the
Very
AFC.
scary. Browns at Jets. Very interesting game coming up here.
We just had a team that just sold their whole team. I cannot go with that. I'm going to go with the Browns here.
I'm going to go with the Browns too. I think both teams are coming off a bye.
They are.
Which is interesting because you don't usually see that too often.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got the Browns as well. Saints at Panthers. A hot Panthers team playing at home against a New Orleans team who is starting Tyler Shaw and said that Spencer Rattler will not be their QB basically the rest of the season.
For that explanation, give me the Carolina. They came off a great win last week. I look for them to become 6-4 and really in the conversation to be in that wild card spot.
And I think next week we can really start talking about potential playoff picture stuff, and that's going to be really interesting. And the team that will be in there is the Carolina Panthers. They're going to win this one.
Absolutely.
Patriots at Bucks. We got the Brady Bowl coming up.
I love this game
in Tampa. And I think this is going to be a really good game. But Bucky Irving and Chris Godwin look to be both out for this game. Do you think that's going to matter for the Bucs?
I don't think so. I think they're coming off a bye. I think this is a perfect team to be coming off a bye against because, the Patriots play a tough game against the Falcons. They got the good version of the Falcons last week when it came to their offense. especially with Drake London having those 3 touchdowns. We're seeing a Patriots team that's hot, and we're seeing a Bucs team that needs a win again. They're coming off a loss before that bye, and they need to just strap in and get back to the roots. And I think Baker can have a huge week. This was in New England. I might be saying different. And I really like Tampa this year. There's not a lot of games I can pick against them, so I'm going to take them here. And what a match I think should not be a 1 o'clock game at all. I'd like to see this at 4:25, maybe America's Game of the Week or Sunday night. But give me the Bucs here.
Who is America's Game of the Week? Is it Lions Commanders?
I think it's Rams 49.
I hope it's Rams 49ers.
I think they flexed it.
But either way, as we were talking about that, I realized that we have 4 swing games, and this is one of them. I have the Patriots in this one, and I hope that the Bucs win this game just for personal, the Bills winning, or Bills trying to, get back to the lead in the division.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the way that the Patriots are playing right now, and especially with the way that the offense is playing right now, I don't think that the Bucs without Chris Godwin and Bucky Irving can really match it. So I'm going to go with the Patriots.
And it is L.A., San Francisco.
Okay, good.
I just looked it up.
Rams at Vikings, a purple matchup. The Purple Bowl. Is the next game. This is another swing game for us, which I'm gonna take the unpopular opinion here. Honestly, I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I know that they've been really, down bad, I guess, the last few weeks, but I really liked what I saw out of JJ last week.
They got it done last week against a really good Lions team.
Yeah, so I think that they're gonna do it again against a really, I don't want to call them a tough Ravens team, but a team that's looking to potentially get back into the playoffs here with Lamar back. But I'm still going to take the Vikings, I think, at home.
When Lamar's back on the field, it's a scary team. So with that offense hopefully clicking again, need a big win the Ravens this week for the Packers' sake. So let's go Ravens. What is it, the flock or whatever? Let's
Ravens
go.
Flock, yeah.
Let's do it. Go beat the Vikings in their territory. Lamar Jackson, hopefully he has his game of the season. I want to see him just drag it all over the Vikings.
Bills at Dolphins is the next game. Speaking of dragging it all over them, squish the fish, baby. Go Bills.
Oh, yeah. No explanation needed. Bills, and I think Tua will have 3 interceptions in this game.
3? Wow.
Yeah.
Who's going to get them?
I'm going to say Bishop gets one.
Okay.
I think, I'll throw Harrison back in there.
Okay.
You know what? And I don't know which linebacker, but I think he's going to throw something right in the middle of the field. I know
Dorian Williams shot. No, not Dorian. He's actually out.
You get to choose which linebacker's getting an interception this week.
We're gonna go with we're not gonna go. We're going Larry Ogunjobi.
Okay, Ogunjobi. All right.
Larry Ogunjobi. Giants at Bears is the next game, and this is an interesting game.
I pray the Giants can get this one.
It's gonna be a little bit closer of a game than I think people think, because I think the Bears tend to just play close games, and the Giants also seem to tend to play close games too.
Yeah, they do.
I'm going to take the Bears in this one, though.
I am too. I think what Ben Johnson's doing with that offense right now is going to be too much for that Giant defense, but please prove me wrong, New York. Go get a win. We need you in this one. And we'll see the Giants next week. So get a win this week, and then we'll see you next week.
Jags at Texans in a huge AFC South matchup. Yeah. One of these teams looking to rival the Colts. I think we know which team it's going to be.
Yeah.
With the Texans and their injuries that they have in C.J. Stroud and a lot of their other players, I'm going to take the Jags in this one.
For the same exact reason, I'm also going with the Jags.
Cardinals at Seahawks is the next game. Another divisional matchup out west. I'm going to take the Seahawks in this one. I think that the Cardinals, starting Jacoby Brissett again.
Excuse me.
Again.
It makes sense. It really does. Their offense has been way more efficient with Jacoby Brissett than it ever was this whole year.
It's efficient, but they can't score.
They just put up 27 points.
But the Seahawks put up 40 a game.
I know.
So,
I know.
I don't know.
I'm not picking the Cardinals.
I guess they don't really have any other options, but
I'm not picking the Cardinals here. I'm also going with the Seahawks, but
it's a fair point.
I like how they're playing. Yeah. They're playing good against good teams too. I'm going with the Seahawks. I don't really think that I really need to explain myself. That offense is just so special, and their defense, and they're 3 phases of the ball.
Lions at Commanders, which was a rematch from last year in the playoffs, where the Commanders went into Detroit and took down. The Commanders went into Detroit and took down the Lions to advance to the NFC Championship. I think it's going to be the reverse this year. I think the Lions go into Washington, and take down the Commanders.
Give me the Lions. Way too many injuries.
Rams at 49ers in America's Game of the Week in Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Can Mac Jones and Christian McCaffrey and the Niners keep it going? I don't think so. I'm going to take the Rams.
I got the Rams, and now, after this week, if it pans out the way we have it, we really start to talk about Matthew Stafford in the MVP conversation. We really, really do.
He could be the oldest MVP ever, potentially. I don't know
That would
what
be awesome.
He's in the range of that for sure. Steelers at Chargers in a
Great game.
huge AFC matchup here. I'm pretty sure this is Sunday night next week.
It is.
In LA, which is, Chargers I feel like always are playing at home in prime time.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I think the Chargers are kind of like a junior version of the Colts where, if they're at home, they always play a little bit better, even though their fans aren't, the best, but they still play good at home because they're comfortable. And I'm going to take the Chargers over the Steelers.
I said this before the show. This is one of those matchups. It's one of those possible fraud matchups. We don't know who's fraud. We don't know who's good. I think they're both good, but we'll see what happens. I really like the way that Aaron Rodgers turned around after that loss to Green Bay. I think that they're looking on the way up. I'm going to take the Steelers here, actually. I like the way their defense played last week, the best they've played all year. And I got to give a shout-out. Their special teams is amazing. So give me the Steelers in this match.
Yeah, good year from Boswell this year.
Yeah.
As always, it seems like. Eagles at Packers, your team, on Monday night next week. Huge, huge game in the NFC.
Yeah.
Can the Packers get back? The Eagles are a beatable team. Can the Packers get back to where they want to be and avoid a 2-game losing streak? Because maybe they overlooked the Panthers a little bit, and we're looking at this game a little bit too much.
Probably.
I think that the Eagles are going to take them down in Lambeau. I think that they're going to stay hot. I think Saquon's going to have potentially his best game of the season. A great elite running back matchup here, but I'm going to take the Eagles.
I just want to point out, you didn't mention something that you mentioned something for another matchup. This is also a playoff matchup from last year, and everybody's going to look past that.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to look past that. And we also let the fewest points up for the Eagles in that whole Super Bowl run. Just want to point that out, that we have.
And now it's in Lambeau.
And this is in Lambeau. I got to say, there was one man in that locker room who was so damn emotional about Tucker Kraft. And I expect for him to come out firing this week. And it's Romeo Dobbs. And the way he said it made it sound like Tucker Kraft passed away. He said, Tuck's in a better place now. I love Romeo.
Is this Jair Alexander's first game as an Eagle as well, or did he play last week?
He did not. I don't think he played last week.
There we go.
But the story
against the Packers right there.
The crappy thing is Jair plays better pissed off. So I don't like that he's probably gonna be really pissed off for this game. And
he's gonna want to make a statement too in Lambeau.
Yeah, and then but I said this to my roommate as we were walking this morning. And a lot of Bills fans feel this way with Josh Allen. I still think when Jordan Love has the ball in his hands, I always got faith. I'm never gonna look away, and I think this defense is a lot better than years past. Still, even with the secondary being really bad, but this might be a big AJ Brown game. And if I'm a betting man this week, I'm probably going to choose the Eagles. But I'm never going against my Packers. Let's find a way to rally. Let's find a way to get it done. This is the biggest game of the year so far, especially with the Lions going up against the Commanders and the Bears going up against the Giants. This is a absolute must-win against a really good team. And the thing about the Packers, they play up and they play down. And I think they'll play up to competition this week. And if Brandon McManus can somehow knock some goddamn kicks into the effing field goal post, I still don't know how we're not starting Haversick when he was 100% on every kick. But not going to get heated. Give me the Pack. Let's find a way to rally. And if we don't win, get Matt LaFleur off the play calling because it's been absolutely atrocious this year.
Wow. And then the teams on a bye are the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, and the Titans. Well deserved for the Tennessee Titans there. And that's
well deserved.
That's week 10. That's week 9, and we will see you guys next week. When we recap week 10 and we talk about week 11.
And man, let's pray that the Packers get it done because that would be a huge win for the NFC. The standings are huge. And if the Eagles win, that's a huge win for their NFC standings.
It's a big pivotal week.
This is the craziest Monday night game that we will see this season.
Wow. Bold statement right there. If you're not already following us on our Instagram,
At Out of Bounds Podcast with a dot between every single word.
yes, it is, Gavin. And by the time that we post this, and then by the time we post our next episode, in between that, hopefully we will have our first Bonaventure Sports Now men's basketball preview. So stay tuned for that as well. And as always, thanks for sticking with us, guys, and have a day.
Have a day.